I've had so many messages from people on Facebook and YouTube saying, David, please do more jewellery videos. So I'm going to do more jewellery videos, and I'm going to start this with Richard. You'll see Richard in the background here. Richard is one of the dealers at Antiques on High in Sidmouth, down in the southwest of England. A super location. So we're going to talk to Richard about jewellery. Here's Richard.
Hello. Hello.
Good to see you, Richard.
Good morning and welcome. Yeah. I'm based in Sidmouth and was one of the first dealers here in Sidmouth, actually. Contacted Vince in response to a newspaper article about the centre being opened.
All right.
Came along, joined in, and from there I got settled in here. And then from there went to Oxford. And then, of course, Bowness, and finally Taunton. Next, Paris, France.
Seems that way.
You got it, yeah.
So you started here, and now you have, what, a cabinet in every single
I
one
have,
of...
at least one cabinet in each of the centres, yes.
Wow, you are,
yes.
I was going to say international. You're about to be international. You are certainly national, Richard.
Yes, nationally, yes.
Nationally known. So do you particularly specialise in silver jewellery?
Not really, but it's probably more silver than most.
Why? What's the big draw for silver?
Affordability.
Oh,
really. Yeah. Affordability.
Talk me through some of the pieces here.
I think silver works extremely well as a material.
And do you must sell it well then, I suppose.
Yes, it does go well. Now, I've just picked out a few things here because they're sort of representative, but they also give a bit of the idea of the history.
Well, talk to me about this.
Because this would be sort of about 1880, Victorian, about 1880, a Victorian piece.
Yeah.
1880, 1890, aesthetic. Getting to the aesthetic period, it tests as silver. It's not hallmarked as silver.
No.
But as is often the case with jewellery of that period.
It's a good-looking thing.
And,
it's actually,
and it's in very good nick.
It's kind of very modern-looking, bizarrely,
yes.
Isn't it?
Yes. Well, part of the idea of choosing these is to show the changes as they go.
And the price on that is?
And the price on that is 135.
135. Okay.
Which,
well, it's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all.
Workmanship, quality. Yeah. My goodness me.
Okay, I would have said, looking at that from a distance, I don't know what you think at home, but I wouldn't. I mean, you know, it's Victorian, and I see that now. But from a distance, I would say that was kind of mid-century, 1960s. It just shows how ahead of the times they were, in actual fact, well,
and also, though, put another way, once a design is discovered, as it were, it's often repeated and becomes standard.
Do you know what? You're so right. Very often in fashion, there's nothing really very new. There's a reinterpretation in fashion, and often fashion looks back for inspiration.
Yes.
And you could wear that at a vintage 1960s night, and it would look okay.
Yep.
Wow.
You have a silver gilt Victorian, another Victorian one, probably see a similar sort of time.
Silver gilt.
Similar sort of time.
So solid silver and then plated in gold.
Silver with a wash or plating of gold over the top.
And what sort of money is that, Richard?
And that one is 85.
85, it's no money, is it? Great gifts. No, and who are you selling to in Sidmouth? Is it mainly tourists?
It's a mixture. It's locals, immediate locals. It's day visitors from places like Taunton, and so on. But day visitors and tourists. Now we have something which is a bit later, about 1920s. A beautiful, beautiful piece.
Tell me about that.
And that is, it's again silver. It's just a pendant. It's not. It would be lovely if it was a locket. A lot of them a lot of lockets were like that.
Lovely enameling on that.
It's silver, beautiful guilloche enamel and marquisites.
And what sort of money is that?
And that one is 165.
Yeah, it's good value for money, isn't it? When you think about it, I mean,
second-hand jewellery so is.
I mean, compared to new, I mean, what would that be new? Genuinely,
Lord knows.
A fortune.
Yeah, and if you were to make it to that quality level.
Okay, so you're selling a lot of stuff, quite obviously, if you're in all 4 branches.
Yeah.
So business is good.
Yes.
You're a multi-millionaire, quite obviously.
Yes.
Well, that's good to know, isn't it?
Explains the jumper. I will just
go on.
Just point out that 20th century. Now we're coming into late 20th century, really. These.
Okay. Yeah.
But they again, it's a good quality, heavy silver necklace.
Yeah.
This one again. Well, unless. Actually, this is probably about the 90s, something like that.
You see, it's funny, isn't it, how the 90s, to me and you and most people watching this, it was yesterday.
Yes.
And now we're selling 90s stuff as vintage.
Yes.
It's funny how things happen, isn't it?
Yes, well, we're selling stuff that I remember as a kid as antique, but we'll pass over that.
Hang on, how old are you? Something has to be 100 years old, Richard, to be an antique.
Yeah, but not far off. But
hang on, you're not mentioning the money. How much is the 1990s one?
This is 195.
195.
Because it's
good design.
Actually, it's 77 grams.
Good design. Look at that.
Very heavy.
Very heavy. You could really bling yourself up with that, couldn't you?
Yeah,
now, what about this one here?
And then a bit of a bit of punk, really.
Yeah, it is a
but
bit
it's
of
silver, sort of nut and bolt.
That is
nut
great.
and bolt theme.
55 quid.
55 quid.
I tell you what, my daughter would love. See, my daughter's 27. She'd love that. That
is very cool.
Very rock and roll.
It is.
That is truly rock and roll. I love that. 55 quid. It's no money, is it?
No.
It's no money at all.
And the other thing about, of course, antique jewellery and all other antiques, is they're green. They're good for the planet. Their footprint has already been expended. It's recycling in its ideal form.
This is something that we really need to do more with. I'm going to speak to Vincent about this. We need to make a series of videos, series of films, really focusing in on the environmental credentials of antiques and all objects. Vincent, there you are. We're going to have to do that. Environmental friendly, next series of videos, right?
Yeah, no, I do
On
agree
for that?
with you, actually. Yeah, totally, yeah. Good idea.